Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about BOMT, Book of Many Things, the latest D&D Canon hardback, and specifically I want to talk about Chapter 9, the Night Chapter. And the Night Chapter is really important. It is dedicated to the Night card. When you draw the Night card, you get a warrior ally who, literally comes out and aid you, going forward, right? And what I wanted to talk about with this chapter is so Book of Many Things is really a historically important D&D canon hardback. It really serves a lot like Xanathar's or Tasha's, right? So there is a lot in it, but one of the things that was essentially, there's really never been a D&D canon. There's definitely BOMT, Book of Many Things, breaks the rules for a D&D canon hardback in many different ways, right? So it actually is much like Xanathar's or Tasha's in that it's eclectic and it has everything. It has subclasses, it has magic items, it has magic items, it has this definition of this, and actually it has those two things which are also specifically in in Xanathar's and Tasha's. But then this gets really weird, right? Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. That is an adventure that presents a setting, right? This is a book that is dedicated to a specific magic item within Dungeons and Dragons. The product itself actually makes the actual magic item, like you have a deck of many things in your hand as a player character, but now you have it as a Dragon Master, as an actual player. You are holding it in your hand. It literally manifests the deck of many things physically. It's not just something in the game. It's something that's in the game and in reality. It's literally like an inversion of what Gary Gygax did with Saturday morning cartoons, where he was like, are you guys worried about your kids, falling into Dungeons and Dragons and being lost there forever? What if I made a show about that exact thing that you're worried about and served it to your kids as fun? Wait, what? It's incredible. And this is Dungeons and Dragons reaching into the real world and saying, hey, this used to be a fantasy item. Now it's literally a real item, right? It's incredible, right? So it does all these things, but what I wanted to talk about today specifically is Chapter 9, the Night Chapter, is a fat stack of magic items, right? Armor, weapons, and more, right? But lots of armor, lots of weapons, right? I'll give you an example. There's a Bloodseeker arrow, right? And this arrow gives you advantage when you're firing a ranged attack against anyone who's already been wounded. That's really cool. It's very thematic, right? It's just stacked with these, right? Now you're like, well, Scott, lots of D&D canon books have had magic items before. A number of magic items in this and the way they're presented and the power of them, very powerful magic items, very powerful armor, very powerful weapons, right, is, I think, a very distinct, very specific presentation of, we understand what we did wrong with the Journeys to the Radiant Citadel. Radiant Citadel, man, I think that book came out, right? And I cannot believe that book was so bad. It was all setting and all here's spicy food you'll get in this region of the Radiant Citadel. And here's another section about spicy food. Here's a section about fashion. It was just all these celebrations of things in the Radiant Citadel, which you're like, I don't know why you're celebrating this thing. You haven't really established it yet, right? Like, you're celebrating a thing that you're presenting, right? Like, you haven't earned celebration of anything yet, right? And the thing with Radiant Citadel is it had no magic items, right? It had like, here you have literally dozens of magic items being presented, so that this book is valuable to players. And that's the other thing is dungeon masters always have a reason to buy every D&D canon hardback. This book gives a reason for dragon masters, the players, to buy the book, which is extremely important, right? And I think this is a very direct response. And I think there was a meeting. I think if you read this book, you understand that there was a meeting at Wizards of the Coast in Renton, Washington, and they were like, never again. We are never putting out another book like Radiant Citadel, where it doesn't have subclasses, it doesn't have good magic items for players, for Dragon Masters, it doesn't have good spells for Dragon Masters, it doesn't have, right? Like, there have been a lot of, and it's not a duplicate of an existing, already awesome setting. Radiant Citadel, tell me if I'm wrong, man, oh man, Radiant Citadel is a bad echo of Planescape, right? It's like, hey, what if there was one place where there was a lot of different cultures, and and everybody came together, and it was important that everybody was there, and there were things happening there. And you're like, Radiant Citadel is a bad echo of Planescape. Like, what? And then they printed Planescape. Like Radiant Citadel was a huge mistake. And I think Chapter 9 of BOMT, the Night chapter, is Hasbro D&D, the design team, acknowledging it, saying, never again. Every D&D canon hardback is a banger. It presents something unique, something special, and there is just a fat stack of magic items for Dragon Masters. There is a fat stack of spells for Dragon Masters. There is a fat stack of class options for Dragon Masters. There is a fat stack of species options for Dragon Masters. Dragon Masters will not walk away from this book. They're going to need it. They're going to want it. They're going to miss it if they don't have it, right? And I think that's exactly what they accomplished with BOMT, Book of Many Things. Chapter 9, the Night chapter, in my opinion, if you look at this fat stack of magic items, this is an apology for Radiant Citadel. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.